Specifically, the beliefs themselves are the main creators of your reality. Your beliefs can influence your thoughts back again, and it can influence your emotions, it can influence your actions and your reality, right? So, actively you replacing these things at the thoughts level, it's actually known as the law of substitution, right? When you can actually do it properly, what happens is that your internal beliefs, right, when you can change your beliefs, when you can change your thoughts from a negative self-talk to positive self-talk, it slowly started to rebuild your belief system that you are carrying inside of yourself, right? So this is really the idea. You might think, or like, what's the point of you just thinking positive? Does it actually have an effect? Absolutely. Every time you decide to change thought system, right, you are actually internally changing your beliefs, core beliefs, right? So you're, especially if you're, reconditioning your beliefs or reprogramming your thinking with more empowering, compassionate, constructive beliefs, this is gonna have an effect on your belief systems, right? And it obviously is gonna influence your thoughts later on, your emotions later on, and actions and reality later on. So I really want you to understand the difference between thoughts and beliefs, because thoughts are not the same things as beliefs, right? Beliefs are things that you agree upon. Thoughts are things that you simply consider, right? I just want to know if everybody understand the difference between thoughts and belief, because it was a very important difference for me to understand when I was actually learning about the mind, right? So I just want to get somebody's feedback if they actually understand it, and if you can kind of tell me what they think about that aspect of it.
To me, a thought is like the precursor to belief. So if you have like multiples of the same thought, it leads to belief. And then vice versa. A belief will lead to many thoughts of that same belief occurring, right? But it's kind of, I'm not really sure if like the chicken and the egg, which came first type of
Right.
situation where many, like if you want to reintroduce a new belief, many new thoughts can create a new belief. But
Yes.
again, I'm not, I'm still working through like what comes first, but I believe the thoughts do comes first. But if you have a certain belief, then you tend to have certain thoughts that are already occurring, and it's more of catching those and reintroducing new thoughts to correct the belief.
That's exactly it. That's you. You got it. Interesting that you brought up the chicken and egg. I think what happened, it was actually the chicken or the egg, because when we are first growing up, right, we don't have any beliefs yet set up. So when we are, in through our childhood, we get certain beliefs kind of get built into us based on the experiences we go on with, right? So if you're in a different social cultural situation, for example, if you're born into like a lower middle class or low income family, you're going to have generally specific type of beliefs. I can't generalize it that way, but that's what it is. And if you're into high income family, they carry certain beliefs, right? So but the thing is, in the beginning, you don't really know what you're believing or what you're even thinking. So that's why I feel initially what all we hear is just thoughts in the beginning. Then when we keep hearing these repeated thoughts and ideas, we started to internalize them as ours, right? Then what happens is that if you now have to change those beliefs or thoughts, it needs reprogramming again from some another environment or another system. Like that's why people go to school, right? People go to school to bring new ideas, and then they continue to do assignments and exams, and they study over and over again to let them become part of their belief system, right? So that's really important to understand, is that through schooling, or whether you're going to temple, or whether you're going to church, or whatever it may be, you are influencing your beliefs. Especially that's why no one goes to temple. I mean, some of us go to temple one time, and then that's it. But if you are religious, or if you're spiritual, or even if you're a scientist, or if you're academic, you realize how important it is for you to relearn key important things over and over again, right? So that's an important thing to remember. So I don't know, which one. It might be the egg who came first in this case, right? So that's important to remember. Alan, I thought I saw you unmuted. I don't know if you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. What you just mentioned, specifically about the way you grow up. I feel like beliefs are part of like core foundations that you learn as you interact with your family when you're little, and you start growing up, and then maybe those may change a little bit as you interact with multiple people. But I
Yes.
think I think originally they do come from your parents, right, and your closer relatives, and
Yeah.
then through time they start kind of like shifting, changing a little bit as you experience, as you go through different experiences in life, and thoughts they are more sporadic. I feel right.
Yeah.
They can become repetitive, and then that's when they start shaping a belief, like Isuru said. But I think they are momentary. They're not part of a core foundation like a belief.
Exactly. Yeah, it can be said better than that, to be honest. So that's exactly what it is, Alan. So that's why it's very interesting that you also kind of a story that kind of brought up into my mind is that I'm learning certain ideas. I'm doing my master's right now, right? So certain ideas saying, oh man, like I don't agree with them, right? Like what do I
Correct.
do, right? Like certain ideas about like religion. So like how do I do? It's like, oh, it's okay. I don't need to let them become my beliefs. I can just consider them as thoughts and ideas,
That's
right?
right.
Right. So that's one of the things that a university really trains you to do is that not everything need to be part of your belief system. And if they do, you'll be really confused, right? Because there's so many contradictory belief systems and ideas all mixed up together. But what I now see is like, no, okay, what they're showing me, what my professors are showing me is their perspectives. They are ideas. Not some of them even say, no, these are not my beliefs. This is what we need to show you guys that what is out there, right? Not everything you learn need to become your belief, right? Even, what I talk about in these sessions, right? Not everything I say you need to believe. Pick the ones that serve you the best. Pick the one that empowers you the best, right? So that's really what it is. And if you try to put everything you learn into your mind, that's just too many things. It's just too difficult for anyone to live like that. One of the things, I'm a big fan of journaling, right? So many of the time, I even go as like, what are the beliefs that I have? So how I started to understand what are my beliefs and this beliefs that disempower me or upset me, I look into see what type of problems do I carry, what are the problems that I'm dealing with, and how I look at these problems. So when I had certain problems with launching my businesses, I carried certain belief system, thinking like, oh man, I made so many mistakes. I've done marketing, it's not working. I used to believe these things to be true. But then I was like, and I realized, well, if it's working for somebody, I just need to go find the person who actually works for and learn from them. Right. So I started to attack my own negative beliefs because I realized if I knew if then, disempowering beliefs can create my reality and how I feel, then why am I still carrying them? I just need to keep going and learning. Right. If a specific belief system, or if you're not in a specific place in life and you want to be, then what I saw personally for me is that maybe I'm not believing the things I need to believe. Maybe I don't know enough, right? So what are these things I need to believe that will give me the best results? So that's what I started questioning, and that's when I started to even learn about this stuff and actually have a way to develop empowering beliefs. And I'll talk about some of what are these empowering beliefs look like. So these are some of the things, the common ones I found, right? So one of the main ones I've seen, I'm not good enough, right? So you can start replacing it with, I am enough, just the way I am, right? So that's one of the main things. Like I started to show a lot of compassion and love to myself, regardless of what has happened in my past, right? That's one of the major differentiations that I made. I started to kind of disconnect what happened and the actions I've taken in the past and just realized, look, I've gone through a lot of difficulty and challenges in my life. I started to kind of treat myself as a more of a best, like my own best friend, my own good friend. And instead of judging myself, criticizing myself for the things I couldn't do or didn't do or whatever it may be, right? Or that where I made mistakes, I really said, like, no, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I made mistakes. So what? I still love myself. I'm still going to be compassionate to myself, right? Especially because I know the importance of it and I'm doing it consciously, right? So, and I started to say that, okay, sure, if I make mistakes, so what? It's fine. Who doesn't make mistakes? So, really becoming a support for your own self, your own coach, your own consultant, your own partner, right? And your own best friend, ideally, is one of the major changes that I made. So then that's when I started to kind of repeat these specific belief systems, right? So I am enough the way I am. It's okay. No worries, right? And I used to always think, I always mess things up. Or not, I didn't always think I messed things up and I didn't know how to correct that. So I learned to say to like, no, I can grow, I can learn and grow from every experience. I can use this experience that I didn't do well to my greatest advantage. So even these sessions are coming from because I've been in there. I made the mistakes of not having right belief systems, right? Now I know how to replace them and correct them and tell people about it, right? So my own mistakes is my greatest advantage now. So don't ever think that because you made mistakes or you've gone in the wrong path that you're stuck there. I can tell you you're not. And I can tell you that my own experience that nature or universe is very supportive of you. And it's both supportive in when you say, I always mess things up. If you keep saying that, what it does is that it will find opportunities for you to get messed up. But if you can say, I can learn from and grow and from experience, it will support that. So it's very affirmative and conform to your needs. And it's unconditionally loving. Because it's unconditionally loving, it will support whatever you believe about yourself. So this was a major find for me, is that just, I need to be watchful of what I say. And then if I'm thinking about things that in a negative way, it may become reality for me. So I started to really change the thought system I carry. And even if I, didn't think the right way, and if I made mistakes of not thinking the right way, I would say, okay, it's okay. I can reflect and I can correct. What's wrong with that? Right? I'm never stuck. I can always learn and grow from every experience. So I started to build these beliefs for myself. And also on things like I don't deserve success or love, right? Those many people actually believe that they are a problem for themselves. And this is one of the things I say. It's like, it's actually more of a problem that you believe that, right? Not the fact that what happened to you, the fact that you believe that is the more of the problem, because that determines what type of reality you create, right? So that's a very important one. So now I say, I'm worthy of love and worthy of success. So that's one of the most important things that I started to repeat in my mind to myself. And things like, what many people think that when you get to a specific age, right, or a specific stage in life, they cannot change anymore. Especially when I see that older adults, they believe that they are, they're too old to change. They're all too old to learn. This is a mistaken belief. That's a belief in itself, right? The nature of beliefs is that they have a component on it that it tend to perpetuate itself. So what I realize is that no, things like beliefs and ideas can change. And if you repeat yourself and take action a specific way, you can change them. You can change your beliefs, right? So if you can change your beliefs, then you can change your outcomes, right? You can change your actions. You can change your emotions. So if more you believe that I have the power to change my thoughts, my beliefs, and my life, the more powerful you actually become, because your subconscious mind and your mind will start supporting that. And we talked about how powerful the mind is. And as long as you have the right beliefs, beneficial beliefs, it can be it can bring you a lot of change and a lot of positive change. So that's one of the things, like this information is, for me, is more valuable than gold, because I can literally get the gold I need now, because if I have the right beliefs. So that's one of the main things I want to leave with you. Just understand, like, having strong beliefs, positive beliefs, is very valuable, right? And it has made all of the difference in my life up until now. And then again, many people also think they're a failure because sometimes they've gone through, they didn't take enough actions to do certain things, or they took actions and they failed at it. But what I realize is that if you're living life, mistakes, failing at things, it's just part of it. It's so normal. Even if you're playing basketball, right? And I don't know how many of people know Steph Curry here. Even his success rate to get threes is 40%. That means he's failing 60% of the time, right? But he's in the NBA, he's making millions of dollars. But what makes a difference? Number of attempts. How many attempts are you willing to take? It's not about how many times you call yourself a failure or avoid it. How many attempts, how many actions in the directions that you want to go do you take? That's really what it is about. So what I found is that the repetition, the action, it's a huge factor in determining your success, right? So we talk about this law called law of repetition, right? The law of repetition is one of the most influential things in order to reprogram your mind. So once you have decided that you want to develop positive beliefs, that is not enough. You need to actually repeat it over and over again, over and over again. That's why, like I said, when you go into university, imagine you just read your textbook once. How much would you actually learn, right? Imagine you read it about 6, 7 times. How much would you learn then? So repetition is vital for skills building, learning, improving your life, especially when it comes to developing positive beliefs. If you want to implement a specific positive belief, even if you don't fully believe in it, repeating it over and over again leads to developing that aspect within your subconscious and your mind, essentially. Okay? That's very important to remember.